Hi, everyone. I'm Marina Kukla from the Cognitive Behavioral Therapy for Work Success team, and we're here today with one of our training videos. This is from session 4, which is our 4A's, which is our cognitive restructuring model, where we help participants, veterans, individuals who are involved in this intervention change their thinking to make it healthier, more helpful, and more accurate in support of their work goals. You'll also see that we'll not only demonstrate this 4A's model, which is our main sort of framework that we use in CBTw, but we will also demonstrate how to reflect people's thoughts back to them, as well as a number of other things. So I'm here with Nikki and Amy, and we're gonna each have a different role. Amy will be our group facilitator, and Nikki and I will play participants, veterans, or individuals who are in this or receiving this group intervention. So we're gonna start now with our facilitator.
Okay. Do either of you feel comfortable sharing what you wrote or taking us through your example of these 4A's?
I don't know if I did it 100% right.
Okay. Well, Marina, you know that there's no right or wrong way to do it.
Okay. One of the things I've noticed about myself is a lot of times I make money either by taking stuff to my booth and cleaning things up, fixing them, putting price tags on them, or listing things on the internet that needs to be sold and then can be shipped. Small items, but a lot of times I will, for the last year and a half or so, I've just not really kept up with what I need to keep up with to make anything. I mean, I don't know if I've said this before, but I've got 2 large storage units that are just full of things for me to get rid of. And so when I get the thought of, "Hey, I need to go do this. I need to do it," but then I'm like, "I want to do this or something." It'll be something that's important, like maybe watching a video that's not important, like maybe watching a video on my phone or playing a game. And then I get distracted and stuff, and that's what I do for the next hour. And then there's a bunch of time wasted. I could have been doing things that were productive, you know? So I guess in some ways, I need to just learn to put my phone down, get on the computer, and do what I need to do to get back out to the van because I've got a van full. It's not doing me any good sitting in the van or in the storage unit not doing what I need to do. I've had the thought that sometimes I just need to start deleting some of these games on my phone, but to me, I don't know why I put a lot of these games that you play with other people, and I feel like I'm letting them down by leaving the game, but then, what are they doing for me anyhow? I don't know them personally, so the thought is, "Oh, well, he wouldn't have lost the day if we quit playing the game, who cares?" So I don't know. Yeah, I guess I've just got to accept that I've gotta stay on task, stay away from these games and a lot of stuff that's not helping my life. I'm just doing the things that pass time but don't really do anything for me.
Okay. Well, what are some of your emotions that you notice around those thoughts? Even you gave the example, I need to go out to the van and start to do some of this. What feelings kind of arise from that?
Well, lately, it's been a little bit different because I'm taking a different pill that I previously so that I'm physically able to do a little bit more than I was before. It's been helping with that because the other day I spent maybe 4 hours in the storage unit, one of my storage units, and I was able to work my way clear to the back, cleaning it up real good and loading the van up with stuff, which was amazing for me because used to be if I did half an hour, I'm already ready to sit down, and I've got to take a breather, and my heart's pounding hard, and it was hot out too. I wish I brought more drinks, but other than that, I don't know. So my thoughts on things like that are getting a little bit different. Just I think to me, when I'm looking at things and opening up a box and stuff I haven't looked at yet and I wanna go through it, to me, it's somewhat exciting. I don't know why, but getting to that point where I want to go get up and go do it, get past "Oh, if I spend a few good minutes on this game, I'll get this." but really you didn't get nothing but digital whatever. You get more out of life than that.
Okay. Well, I can imagine, even just as you're describing this situation, that you might feel overwhelmed because knowing that it's not just, oh, I have these two things to go through, but I have a whole van of things to go through. So, would you say overwhelmed is one of the feelings you have?
Well, sometimes I know that, what's in there is going to go in my booth. So I just know that usually when I go to my booth, I'll get one of the carts, I fill it up, take it in, put it in the booth. Whatever I can get into the cart, what's going in it. I don't try to do the whole van at once. And sometimes I'll separate things out, like these things need to go on the internet. I separate it like that. Right now, I've got certain things that are in my kitchen now that I've said need to go on the internet. They're still sitting in my kitchen that haven't been put in the internet. And when I see my kitchen is one room, but my kitchen is supposed to be my kitchen, living room, and dining room. But yeah, it's like 15 by 15. But to me, it's just a kitchen because there's more room. It's not huge or anything. So I never bought a couch even up there.
Okay. Well, if you got some of these things out on the internet or you accomplished some of these things, how would it feel?
Well, I would like it. I know I would.
Right. So maybe it's telling yourself that you don't know that an answer could be for you is if I just do some of this, I'll feel better or I'll make some money or whatever it might be, but something rather than just avoiding. It sounds like maybe you're just avoiding rather with the video games and everything else is a distraction. And that if you could just tell yourself to get yourself kind of motivated, like a little pep talk in the moment. So the answer is, oh, there's so much to do, but that rather I'm going to do this later, or I don't want to do this right now. So you could take your thoughts you have around it, but an answer might be, I'm just going to do 45 minutes or 1 hour of it, and then I'll make some money, and then I'll feel better, and then I can take a break. Whatever it might be, but maybe just working with something specific you could tell yourself.
I can remember when I used to do 8 to 10 hours on the computer sometimes and just I don't know why I'm doing it. Why I'm not doing those things that I need to be doing.
So maybe just some of those changes that's happened over time can be hard to accept too. So, what it used to look like, or how productive, what things you used to do, and letting some of that go. So, that might be your acceptance to work on that fourth A that we talk about of knowing your work days are going to look different now, and even that your stamina, maybe your health is different, and that's okay. Things change. So, well, thanks, Marina. Nikki, do you feel okay sharing your example?
Yeah, so staying focused would be my problem, very similar to Marina, where I'm very much aware that I'm avoiding, similar to Marina as well. There's been certain tasks, and like my phone has definitely been a way for me to avoid certain things. I also use games, but I've been kind of thinking about certain things, like accomplishments in the past, long period of time. So feeling not very fulfilled about a lot of things. So with some of these games that I enjoy, it's like, wow, I'm getting a sense of self-esteem built back up, and like I can beat this level or I can do X, Y, and Z. So I'm getting some sort of reward, the serotonin like boost of getting something done, and it's quick and instant for me. So it's hard to kind of, but I'm not, I can I can cut certain things off. Like I can cut my phone away sometimes, but I'll find other things to avoid, like room maybe clean, but do I need to re-clean it? And I'm avoiding the task, on that. That's the part that I'm trying to figure out. I've done and been reading up on lots of things sometimes, like, okay, set a small goal, and I've been realistic with myself. 15 minutes to sit down and get on the computer for 15 minutes, open up Word, start doing X, Y, Z. a while ago, I was able to get to that, but I would open up my computer and I would just stop. Like, I'm like, okay, 15 minutes is over. And then, those are some of the things I've caught up on. I recognize it's unhelpful. Let's see here. As for, I guess as far as something to lose, well, I do have something to lose if I keep this on this one thing, like my housing and everything. So I've just been, so I've got to do it. As far as acting, I just need to kind of apply, just start somewhere. And with certain things, I've been good at that because I tend to be a perfectionist with a lot of things and it helps me avoid things. But I wasn't able to recently just do small things. I don't care how menial it was, so that's a win for me, but just carrying that over and momentum just of the larger things that I need to do, like as far as the acceptance part goes, not too much of an issue there. Think I've got a I think I've got better control. I used to be very, very hard on myself on that. I've been more accepting of recognizing certain good aspects of myself, being I think I'm a pretty good father. I've got a great daughter and there's certain wins I've been able to do. So yeah. But again, going back to my root problem was just avoidance, not focusing. Well, certainly ask maybe if you could shed some light, even maybe over the last 5 to 7 years, like, did I see negative things? Because there's certain things that I didn't even like doing at work. I would start avoiding, and then it got worse over the years and years, and that's where I am now. But yeah, avoidance is a problem, and I'm sure, I guess this is common. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just trying to fix myself, and like everybody wants those quick answers to get back on their feet. So I don't know. That's all I got.
Okay. Well, thanks, Nikki, and thanks to both of you. So it sounds like you both can relate to avoidance, and it's just thinking through the fact that this is something we probably know we're doing at some level, but we don't spend a lot of time diving into it and really thinking about it. So I think something for this week that you both could do to continue to be aware of, and it sounds like you're both aware of it now after talking about it, and maybe you even know what your current situation is, but continue to think through, okay, how could I come up with that answer that is going to help me in the moment? So when you first start to notice I'm having those thoughts of, I'm just going to do that later, or first I'm going to play the game, or first I'm going to clean my room, whatever it might be, how can you have that answer ready to go and just maybe reminding yourself of what would be a more healthy, a more helpful, and more accurate for you? A thought that could really kind of help you out. So if you don't have that answer pre-thought in the moment, we're not going to magically kind of think through it or just come up with it if we haven't thought through this beforehand. So it might be even writing that in the manual or putting it on a post-it note somewhere so that you're reminded of it, whatever it is, just to kind of get that in the forefront. And then hopefully when you're able to have those less negative or less helpful thoughts, you can kind of switch them to that positive answer for yourself when you might start to notice actions changing. And that's where that momentum to keep moving forward can really play out. Because when we notice, like, wow, I did this thing and it felt really good, that can keep that new cycle moving forward. And we'll continue to obviously keep building what we're going to talk about in the future sessions, which next week will be on session 5. And we're going to talk more about some of those barriers to work and kind of work on those 4 A's and how you can apply it to some of the things that get in the way of working. But for this week, we just want you to focus on what your specific answers might be. So anything come to mind that you know maybe would help you that you could tell yourself this week? And maybe thinking through, are either of you ready to change the thought? Because it sounds like you both know what you're doing, or you have some desire to change some of your patterns, but I guess it's something that you need to feel ready to try.
Well, I would say personally, I just need to act. Just, I think I'm very much aware. I've assessed and I need to act. You said something about those little wins, and I just kind of keep doing that. And That's the same concept of watch your pennies a day and the dollars take care of themselves. So that's me. I mean, that's just, you've been talking and just going over some of this stuff as well. It's been in my head of what I could do differently for this week. As far as a plan personally for this week, I want to just carry over what I've been doing, because I think if I just keep driving, I'll get progressively better. So that's my plan, is to just keep going with the little wins, and hopefully I get some
Yeah.
good stuff done this week.
Okay, great. Marina, any final thoughts as we wrap up a group?
I don't know if there's anything extra that I haven't said, but I know even using like, online marketplace, about 3 weeks ago, I listed a few things on there and made some money, and within a week enlisted several items, and I haven't done it since then. On
Mhm.
another one, I used to be a top rated seller. I had maybe 3,000 items on there at once,
Oh, wow. Wow.
and now I have nothing. So I know how to make money that way. I just need to do it.
Do you want to do that?
Eh, I mean, I have at times loved doing these. I've loved doing the auctions and different things
Okay.
and buying this stuff. So to even have the money to turn around to make money, you've got to put up. You can't just buy this stuff and leave it sitting. It's not doing you any good.
Okay. Is there anything you could tell yourself this week that might help you in the moment to kind of get that momentum to act?
I keep thinking that just telling myself, I'll have more money. Gas prices have definitely gone up. I need more money, just, putting the gas in the van and stuff. Recently, that's starting to feel more realistic. Before, I don't know matter what I told myself, it didn't seem to matter. I don't know. Nothing mattered for a long time, it seemed, but things are changing, so I don't know.
Okay. Well, you could try that this week and then just tell yourself, remind yourself that maybe I can do this, or just reminding yourself that it'll feel really good to make some money this week. And then all of this too is learning, as well. So sometimes you might try something and then we come back next week and say, actually, this really didn't work out for me and I need to change it some, or I need to look at some different ideas. And that's okay too, because there's going to be times when we figure out what works and what doesn't work. So this week, we're just trying to have those healthier, more helpful, accurate answers. And it might even feel like a little pep talk that you give to yourself. Just remember yourself or the positive outcomes that could happen. And for both of you, it sounds like you're really ready to have that action to follow. So hopefully you'll be able to put this into practice this week, and then we can check in next week and see how everything went. So hopefully that sounds okay. And thank you. I know sometimes for me, the benefit of a smaller group is that we can get a little deeper in and share a little bit more. So I just really appreciate both of you opening and sharing today, and hope you have a great week.
So this is the end of our role play. So I don't know that I said this at the beginning, but this is a de-identified excerpt from an actual CBTw group that Amy led in the past. So she was playing herself on this role play, and then Nikki and I were playing individuals who went through the intervention with Amy. I will note a couple of things. So this is from our 4As. So it has these different components. We become more aware of our thoughts that might be tripping us up. We assess those things. Are they helpful? Are they healthy? Are they accurate? And if we deem that they're really not helpful or healthy or super accurate, then we want to answer them or come up with something better, something more positive. And so Amy references that language of coming up with an answer. Then the next step in the 4As is to act in some way to support that healthier thinking. And that's referenced a couple of times here. And then finally is the acceptance piece, the acceptance that we're all imperfect people, human beings, trying our best. So we might offer another helpful thought there to think a little bit more positively about ourselves. So just also, I wanted to note at the beginning with Marina, the person I was playing, Amy tries to reflect emotions which it doesn't seem to quite land with this person so much. So Amy adjusts and starts to reflect more about maybe what this person is thinking now and what might be a better answer thought or a better way to change that thinking to be a little bit healthier. And so that seemed to go well, and especially with Nikki, who seemed to have lots of insight about these patterns of avoidance that are really tripping her up. And what are some other answer thoughts? So in other words, those more positive thoughts to change those unhealthy thinking patterns was really the emphasis here. This is the first time we introduced this cognitive restructuring model that we use throughout the rest of the sessions of our 12 sessions. And so Amy starts at a lower level and then actually kind of adjusts to make it a little bit more concrete for Marina, who seemed to maybe need a little bit of scaffolding or a little bit more of that support, which seemed to help her or them think through more of what they were going through and the difficulty getting that motivation to get up and start to take those concrete actions towards this selling business that they were running at the time. Those are some of my main thoughts, but you can see there's reflection of thoughts, there's some attempt at reflection of emotions, and you can see we have multiple people in group. Here we have two, but that Amy was able to kind of tailor it, even though there's people at sort of different levels of their insight and their ability to change their thinking and to do this sort of CBT approach. Those are some of my thoughts. This is kind of what you'll see going in, what it looks like doing this in the real world. So thank you. I appreciate you watching our video.